Hey everyone, it is Kim. I am back for a little bit. I got a few finished objects to show you. I've got some new books to show you. I've got some things to talk about, where I've been, what's going on. So I will get to that. I'm going to start with the finished objects. I only have a couple, but I do have an obscene amount of works in progresses. I'm not going to show them all, but I will show, a selection of some of the stuff that I'm working on. And I'm sorry if you hear that noise. My niece left her door partially open and the fan keeps blowing it back and forth, and I don't feel like going upstairs and shutting it. So, I only have the few finished objects for the entire last month. It'll make more sense when I explain what's going on, but I do have a lot of work in progresses, and so hopefully I'll be able to show those over the next few weeks. So I'm going to show you what I have finished, and then I will kind of go into a discussion of what's going on. Where have I been? I've had a lot of questions about that, and thank you so much for all the outpouring of concerns and questions and all. It has meant a lot to have so much support. So the first thing I actually finished this one for my birthday. And this is Marty the Party Monster. This is from Amigurumi Monsters 2. He's got his balloon. I made the party blower, but it was just way too big, and so I need to do a smaller yarn. But I think he turned out great. This is in Red Heart Super Saver in Lemon. Soft White. And then this is the Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn, one of the speckled yarns that I'd gotten. And then his balloon is made out of Hobby Lobby I Love This Yarn and Peacock. And he's got all kinds of fuzzies and all on him. But he is done and he is cute. I do love how he turned out, so I made him for my birthday. I made him for my birthday, but he'll still go in my show stash, but it's a really easy pattern. I also made, because I was working on patterns by Left-Handed Crocheter, and this is from her Favorite Pets ebook, or you can buy this by itself. It's called The Pet Bird, and this is in Red Heart Super Saver in Cornmeal and Tea Leaf. So then I made this one. And then I realized, because I thought this one seemed kind of small because I've made them before. I realized I didn't do 8 rows of the body on this one. He still turns out cute. He'll just be a little bit cheaper at the show because he's smaller, but he's a baby bird instead. But that's these two. This is one of the picks from I Love This Yarn. And this is Soft White again from Red Heart Super Saver. So, they are done. And again, that is by Left-Handed Crocheter as a paid pattern. Yesterday, I made this guy. Made this cute little bee. This is again by Left-Handed Crocheter. It's in the Backyard Bugs ebook, or you can buy it by itself. But one of the local schools around here is the Bees. And that's their middle school is, their Pee-wee leagues are. So, bees are really popular around here. I sell out of them at all my shows. Sorry if you hear the clacking in the background. Precious my niece's dog is in here now. But I made this guy. This one only took about 90 minutes to make, so it works up really quick. This is Red Heart Super Saver in Soft White, Black, and Bright Yellow. So, I've got to go through and get all the fuzzies off from all the polyfill, but he is done. And then I also finished this one, and this is Timothy the T-Rex by Blue Phone Studios. And I did another one of these. I have another one that needs assembled. The body is the yellow and the stripes are the orange, but this is Bright Yellow and Pumpkin by Red Heart Super Saver. And again, this is the Timothy the T-Rex pattern. So that is all I have made. I've got 65 works in progress right now. And I've got no excuse for that. Well, I do, and part of it's hurting right now. Alright, so I'll go into a little bit of what's going on because then everything else will make sense. Hold on a minute. Sorry about that. Alright, so what's been going on with me? Now, I had set out to do videos every day for September. Or, sorry, Vlogmas for August. And as I had mentioned in the first couple videos, I was having a lot of problems with my mouth and my ear hurting. And that continued to get worse because I have two separate problems. My back wisdom teeth on the bottom need to be removed because they are broken, and right now there's abscess actually on them. So that's one surgery. And then I've had ear problems since I was about 18 months old. So I went in for the first time in many years. Longer than I should have gone because I'm supposed to go to the ear doctor every 3 to 6 months. And I haven't been in many years. And they couldn't, because I had gone, because it takes time to get an appointment with a specialist. As a lot of people around here know, you've got to go certain steps and it's a long wait. So, because I had gone to my main doctor, they couldn't do anything for me. I wound up in the emergency room because of the pain. And then eventually now I got back into, because my ear doctor has since retired. But the office and the doctors that he trained and handpicked and all are still there. So I got back into there. And apparently nobody looked at my file because the last time I went I was not married. It was back when I was still a minor. And I'm 33 now, so I'll let you guys figure out how long it's been since I've been there. Yeah, don't do that. And so they apparently didn't put the two files together. So they were only going off of something that my main doctor's nurse had told them, which was not what was really going on. So they pulled up my surgical records because I've had several ear surgeries. They pulled those up. Then they looked in my ear. What I found funny is when I first got there, they wanted me to go get a hearing test done. And my friend took me because when you get your ear work done, you can't always drive afterwards. So he took me. And I had Baxter, my service dog, there. And they take me back to the hearing test room. The lady looks in my ear. And she says, we're not going to do this today. I'm going to go get you a doctor. That's what I thought. So they, took me back. They got me back in to see the lady that I was there to see, who was the physician's assistant. And she took one look in my ear and she's like, well, we've got massive problems here. Because it is so impacted in there because of everything built up, they can't even get into there. When I went to the emergency room, they actually worked for 2.5 hours to try to soften the drainage up in my ear so that it would take some of the pressure, because the problem is the pressure from my ear was beating down into my sinuses, which was pushing down onto my teeth. So my entire mouth was hurting, my ear was hurting, the whole side of my face. So they were able to bust it through it in the emergency room, but it took 2.5 hours. And then since then, it's just, because I kept telling the people in the emergency room, and I kept telling my primary doctors, I need a specific eardrop, and I kept asking for it, and they're like, no, it won't help. If somebody has been through this problem for 31 years, listen to them. So I get there, and the physician assistant looks in, and she barely even touched my ear, and it was causing major pain. So she gave me the prescription that I had been asking for, without even me asking for it. She gave me the prescription. I've been using the drops since then. So that happened at the beginning of August. Then we had something come up with my niece, and something come up with our house that we're living in. And we had to do some major home renovations over the span of a couple weeks. So I was dealing with the mouth pain, the ear pain, and then I was doing that. And it was a lot of late nights because it's hot. And so it was hard to get a lot done during the day, so I was having to do it at night, and it caused a lot of problems. But we got through that, but right as we got through that, my niece had gotten sick with a sinus infection. 2 days later, I catch the sinus infection. Problem is, she recovered from the sinus infection in 3 days. I had the sinus infection for 10. So for 10 days, I couldn't breathe. I couldn't sit up. I was too dizzy because then what started happening is it was all in my sinuses. Well, then it all went and started colliding back into my ear. So basically on going into my ear, there's a big wall of stuff that needs to be removed. Underneath that stuff is a bunch of damage from previous surgeries, neglect, so forth. Well, then the drainage started pushing back in that direction. So I was in some of the worst pain I've ever been in my life. So finally, that has cleared up. But that was just about 2 days ago that cleared up. So then, I've been taking the eardrops as the doctors have requested. And apparently it's helping loosen up what's in there, but it's making me very dizzy. So I'm not getting very much done. I've got bags of stuff like this is 4 different stuffed animals that just needs assembled. I've got at least 65 other items that I've started. And, you know, there's just a lot going on. So then, fast forward to this week, I was supposed to go back on Tuesday. I was actually supposed to go back last week, but they had to do it on a day when the surgeon that could make some decisions for me was there along with the physician's assistant who is currently my provider. So I was supposed to go on Tuesday because that was the first day they both were together after the time limit that they wanted for the eardrops to work. I get a call last week, and mind you, I get a call in the middle of that massive ear pain from the sinus infection. I get a call last week moving my appointment to Wednesday. So I called them back because they had left a voicemail, and I wanted to make sure that the surgeon was going to be there. The surgeon was going to be in surgery all day. So they're like, all right, we're going to make it on Friday. So it's actually tomorrow. And it's a very important appointment for a couple of reasons, because if the eardrops have not worked, the only way they are going to be able to give me some relief is to have another surgery. I do firmly believe that once they are able to get it cleared out, whether they do it in the operating room or they do it in a normal setting, that it's going to have to be operated on anyways, because I can tell by the way things are, there's a lot of damage under there, and that's what they're concerned about as well. What are we going to uncover as we go through it? So, that's a massive problem for multiple reasons, one of which I don't have medical insurance. And unfortunately, it's still cheaper for me to pay for the surgery than it is for me to pay for medical insurance. I ain't getting into that one. So, you know, that's a problem, as well as I've got craft shows coming up. It's not that bad of a recovery, but it does take time. So I can't look down for long periods of time. So I can't sew, I can't make cups, I can't crochet for an extended period of time. So I'm not going to get much done. Also, I can't lift things for 2 to 3 weeks at least. So I can't do it around the time of my shows because I cannot carry my equipment. Because all my shows, they're big, they're long, and I've got some heavy display units. So that's a problem. Then there is the fact of I need somebody that can take care of me afterwards. My husband is an on-the-road truck driver. We need to give them notice to bring him home. So there's a lot of things to worry about. So, sorry, I think the mailman's here. I'm hoping to be able to push it off until after my shows are done. But I don't know. So there's going to be a lot that gets figured out tomorrow. My goals moving forward are, I do want to try to do videos every day in September. But what I want to do is only do videos during the week. It is very hard on the weekends. My family does not know I make the videos. So it's hard to kind of get that quiet time with nobody bothering you on the weekends. So I'll do them as I can on the weekends. But if I stick to just doing the weeks, I think it'd be a lot easier. And then I've got to get a lot of stuff made. I don't know what September's going to bring. It might bring that I have surgery. I don't know yet, and we'll see. So that's what I'm looking at. After that, we've also got to look at the fact I need my wisdom teeth taken out, which is a several-day recovery in itself. So I'm looking at doing that possibly in December or January. So I've got to deal with the pain of that until we get there. So there's a lot going on. And I do have a lot of other medical problems, a lot of which I don't want to, divulge and stuff. But that is the condensed version. I know it's a condensed 10-minute version of what's going on here. So I want to show some books that I have and talk about some upcoming plans and just show you what I'm working on. Now, I know some people have shown this book, the Crochet Cute Critters book by Repeat Crafter Me. Now, I don't like being negative, but I'm going to have to be negative for a minute. I have two massive issues with this book. It is directed towards those that are beginning amigurumi. And, they're good ideas for that. And there's one pattern for every letter of the alphabet in here, a different animal. Now, the reason I got this book is I loved how, in her pictures, how floppy the animals were. The animals are floppy for a reason. She uses a 5mm hook on all of these patterns. Now, if you crochet really tightly, you can get away with using a 5mm hook for amigurumi. And this is using worsted weight yarn. This is using the standard yarn that I use. If you don't, like me and a lot of the others that I know, if you use a 5mm hook on your amigurumi, it is going to get to be with huge gaps in it where the stuffing is going to be showing. It's not going to be, let me find a good, it's not going to have your basic shapes. Because even this, there's still some gaps in there, but that's to be expected because that's doing the increases and decreases. But using a 5mm hook, fingers are going to get stuck, your stuffing's going to come out, and it's not going to be and form the stuffed animal you want it to make for most people. Now, if you can get away with using a 5mm hook, great. That means your amigurumi can be bigger. So that's problem number one I have with this book, is because it is telling people to use a 5mm hook. People's going to have a lot of problems with that. And so then I was like, okay, well, fine, So I got frustrated because I was looking forward to the really floppy stuffed animals because that's why I'd gotten this book. Because I have tons of patterns of books, but I wanted something that was floppy. So, and when you see her work, it doesn't have the gaps or that big of gaps. But that's not how everybody's going to be. And, that's a problem. And another thing, most amigurumi is worked in the round or in a spiral. Sorry, let me grab my tail here. Most is worked in a spiral. And that's how every pattern of amigurumi I've ever seen has worked. This one is actually worked in the round like you do a hat. So you join the end of your round, you slip stitch, and you chain one. So that causes a few concerns for me. Now, I did this one in 3.5 millimeter or 3.75 millimeter hook, which is the hook I use. As you can see, this is the head of the turtle. This is considerably smaller than the big squishy animal she had. You're looking at it being less than half of the size that she was saying these animals are going to be. But what you get when you do, I don't know if it's going to show up, right there you get this kind of scar on the back of the stuffed animals by doing the join and chain one method. And I've never seen a single amigurumi use that for the actual base of the amigurumi. So my issue with this book is it's directed towards people beginning to crochet amigurumi. That was the whole thing. You know, easy patterns to begin. My issues are when somebody goes to make something else, they're not going to understand that you're working in a spiral instead of a round. And they're going to be using too big of a hook for almost every pattern. So, I don't recommend this book because, one, if you make the level of amigurumi that I make, doing the whole slip stitch and chain one is the most annoying thing in the world. I tried because I was going to go ahead and try to finish to show like the size differences. I couldn't. I could not handle doing that. And then there's just, you know, using the 5mm hook's not going to work. So it's hard for me to say, oh, go get this book when the size of the stuffed animals are deceiving. Some of the techniques will not transfer over from one thing to another. And it's, for something that's supposed to be beginning amigurumi, I think it's going to cause problems for people because no other amigurumi is like this. No other amigurumi that I've seen has worked in the round. You know, everything's worked in a spiral. So, I don't know. That's my opinion. You know, it's your money. If you want to buy it, go for it. I'm sure you can alter the patterns. I was planning on just using blanket yarn so that I still got the big floppy patterns, but I can't get past working in the round, and I just, even if I go work in a spiral, I think it's still going to bug me at this point. Sorry about that. My dad got home, and like I said, they don't know about the videos yet. I'm sorry if you hear background noise. I had to turn on the air conditioners because it's getting later in the day now. I'm also filming this on my laptop instead of my phone, which I normally do, because I'm going to try to edit the two together, and hopefully that works out. But I was showing this book. This is by the creator, or those that brought together the Monsters books and Amigurumi and all. This one is really cute. It is all by one designer. And it has some of the just cutest patterns in it. There's some more on the back. My favorite in this book is, see if I can find it. There it is. It's a sloth in pajamas. I just thought that was the cutest. These are some really, really cute patterns. This book I got is a pre-sale through their website, but it is coming available this weekend or next week sometime. Great book. A couple of people are doing giveaways with this book online on Instagram right now, so definitely check that out. As I said, I want to do videos in September. We'll see how that goes. Obviously, my appointment tomorrow will determine a lot of that. Also, with Kim over at Blue Chip. Hey, Kim. Sorry for the bouncing. You're actually sitting on my lap right now. We are going to, out of Monsters, the first Monsters book, we're going to be doing Dizzy Donkey. And using sport weight yarn, he comes out to be 12 inches tall sitting. So I have a feeling he's at least 3 to 4, or 12. He's at least 2 feet standing. So he's probably going to be 3 to 4 feet using standard yarn. So I'm going to work on that. Also in September, but I would love to get a ton of stuff done because the shows are coming up. I can't make any guarantees of what's going to happen, but maybe, especially if I can learn how to edit, I can get more stuff up easier. But I will leave you all here. I will give you an update when I know more about what's going to happen. My family is home for the holiday weekend the next few days, so I'm not sure when that update will be. But I will see you all soon. Bye.